Michael, 35 to 40 people are without a home tonight. The Red Cross now stepping in to help assist those 17 families that were affected by this. These apartments are fairly old. They were built about 60 years ago from wood, which explains why the fire was able to be spread so quickly. Earlier this evening, I spoke with the mayor of Manlius, Paul Worrell. He says this was the biggest apartment fire in Manlius in the past 60 years. He tells me when firefighters got here, they heard some smoke detectors going off, but not all of them. The mayor says this is a great reminder to make sure your smoke detectors are working and that they have batteries.
We have not had anything bigger than a normal room and contents fire. This is the first one of this magnitude in this complex in 60 years. And unfortunately, the way the buildings are set up here, it traveled through the attics all the way down through all the buildings down to the end.
And Paul Worrell has some experience with fires. He was the fire chief in Manlius for 25 years. Michael, he says he's very happy to hear that nobody was hurt.
Oh, we all are. Former Chief Worrell, familiar to all of us. I'm wondering, did he shed any light on the construction here? If I live in an apartment complex in another suburb, is there any way for me to know how the building was built? Could fire travel as quickly through my place as it did there?
Well, Michael, if you live in one of these buildings, you can certainly reach out to the owners and landlord to figure out the landscape, and design of these buildings, to figure out the interior, to see the main structure and how these were built. Again, these apartments old, 60 years old. Most of them were made from wood. As you can see right here, this is burnt wood on the ground to the left of me. So again, the wood is a big reason why this fire was able to spread so quickly, Michael.
Parents in the Syracuse City School District are reacting to that mask requirement for everyone inside a school building this fall. Our team coverage continues. CBS 5's Tony Black is with the Live Eye in Syracuse right now.
The largest school district in our region will require students to wear one of these this fall. The Syracuse City School District Superintendent says they're following CDC guidelines to keep kids safe, and I wanted to get parents' thoughts on this.
The decision that we made to have everybody masked, we believe, is in the best interest of the health and safety of our students and families and adults.
The Syracuse City School District will require masks for students, teachers, and staff this year, regardless of vaccination status. Board President Dan Romeo says they want the kids to be back 5 days a week. The requirement to mask up on buses and in all district buildings has mixed opinions from parents.
I agree with that. I'll just be honest with you. There is still a lot of confusion.
I am a proponent of not having children wear masks.
Some parents have concerns of students being in a mask for 8 hours a day.
So I think the human relations have been really hampered by not having smiling faces, not having the communication.
Others saying there's too much still in question about COVID-19, and it's best if they do wear them.
We do not know what's really going on with these viruses and strands. I think that's one of the safest things that we can do as human beings right now.
The district is also requiring proof of vaccination or weekly testing for employees not in a collective bargaining unit, and working with those units to have this apply to everyone.
Anything that encourages people to get vaccinated, I'm on board with. I don't know if this is going to encourage anybody, but I hope everybody does get vaccinated.
Parents sharing their thoughts on the new requirement for their kids' teachers.
We want to respect people as human beings, when it comes to even that.
In my viewpoint, I think actually that is your freedom to make a choice whether you want to be susceptible or not.
The district will be offering a remote option for students with health issues. The board president says that plans would change for them if guidelines from the county or the state call for more protocols.
New at 6 tonight, advocates against gun violence are calling on the city of Syracuse to allocate 10% of the city's federal stimulus funds directly to community anti-violence groups that are working with at-risk youth. Abby Buttacavoli explains in this You Paid For It report.
Syracuse neighbors and advocates against gun violence are asking for $12 million. That's in federal stimulus money or your tax dollars to directly combat gun violence.
We need this funding. We need it now.
Jacqueline Bean is no stranger to gun violence. That's how Bean lost her father, a nephew, a niece, and her son.
When this hit me, it tore me apart.
Here with Bean, the group Fund Peace, a traveling organization stopping in more than a dozen cities to advocate for gun violence prevention funding. Their ask is $12 million of Syracuse's $123 million from the American Rescue Plan to go directly to programs like OGs Against Gun Violence and SNUG.
These funds should come down to these community grassroots organizations to do the work so that we can prevent these type of actions happening.
The city's plan in writing does not directly allocate money to these community groups, but the mayor says $35 million is being spent on children and families.
If we really want to address the root causes of violence, we have to go beyond just dealing with the conditions today on the ground.
I asked the mayor, could the plan change to meet the advocates' concerns?
As conditions continue to change on the ground, yeah, we need to be prepared to pivot and to adjust our plan to meet those needs.
As for Bean, she's here so no mother has to feel her pain.
My heart is still aching. It'll ache probably until the day I leave this earth. But I know my son is in heaven, and I thank God for that.
Last month, the city of Syracuse saw more than 50 shots-fired incidents. The city is also getting an additional $750,000 from the state to address gun violence, that money being spent on workforce training and job placement for young people.